Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Versus Minus Comics, where every week we talk about 10 Marvel comics from 1961 to present day in chronological order, talking about the good, the bad, the crazy, all of that stuff. My name is Arden, here we are in my basement. I don't know why I said that. I'm losing my train of thought now. That just threw me off real bad there.
Here we are in my basement, where we recording.
Anyway, Sebastian is with me on the couch right next to me. He's here in my basement as well. Hello, everybody. I just said hello for you. Okay. Take over. Save me.
He's making this really uncomfortable. Anyway, we're just gonna go straight into this because I'm gonna start rambling. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right.
Anyway, we're gonna go straight into this. Number 71, Strange Tales 110A.
This is correct.
Human Torch versus the Wizard and Paste Pot Pete.
His two most famous villains.
And apparently the two most deadly.
Yeah. So this starts out with Johnny doing homework, and he gets distracted, and he recaps his fights with both of those villains for 6 pages. So we're now halfway through the story, and nothing's happened.
Nope.
So, cut over to Paste Pot Pete. He has returned from his excursion out of the country, if you remember from when he escaped from the country last time. And he wants revenge on the Human Torch, so he's like, hey, let's break the Wizard out of prison, and let's team up with him.
Mm-hmm.
So also, he spies on the prison that the Wizard is in, with binoculars that have lenses made out of paste. Why not just buy regular binoculars? Would paste even work as a lens?
I don't think it will.
Yeah, that threw me off already. I was like, okay, this is strange.
No.
So anyway, Paste Pot Pete commandeers a prison food truck, and he breaks the Wizard out.
Yep.
So the Wizard is like, hey, let's make a plan to discredit the torch.
First.
Go back to my house.
Yeah.
This is the same exact thing he's done in every single one of his appearances.
Yeah.
You'd think for someone so smart that he would figure out to not do this same thing again.
Yeah, literally Johnny figured it out instantly. He's like, I'm just gonna let this happen to figure out where it's coming from, you know?
And already these guys are arguing.
Yeah.
Because Wizard keeps bossing Pete around, and Pete's like, I'm not your slave, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Wizard publishes an article in the news claiming that the Torch is a criminal, and everybody believes. Also, there's another really weird Fantastic Four conversation where they're like, Johnny has to be a man and do school stuff, and he has to do this himself. Also, the Wizard has an asbestos suit, which should give him cancer. But it doesn't, and it somehow makes him look like the Human Torch. Right, and then they try to rob... Right! Yeah, Johnny doesn't even put anything in the newspaper.
He puts the fact that the rich man is coming...
Oh, okay, yeah.
...in the newspaper.
Okay, gotcha.
When there wasn't, and it was actually just him.
Okay, right. Yeah, so the Paste Pot Pete and the Wizard try to rob this rich guy, but it was just the Torch.
Yeah.
And he flames on, and he...
chases them back to Wizard's house.
Yep.
And they trap him in a hall of mirrors.
Yep. And so basically Pete pastes Johnny to the floor, and they go to get a device that will extinguish all the oxygen in the room, suffocating Johnny and also taking out his flame.
Why you wouldn't have it prepared beforehand? Who knows?
Yeah, they're idiots, apparently. I guess the Wizard was in prison for a while, but...
But even that, he's supposed to be the smartest dude.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't have it prepared beforehand is...
And he had the device also as well. He just didn't put it where it was supposed to be, because he's like, I have to go fetch this.
Yeah, dumb.
Anyway, but Johnny manages to burn the paste up.
Yeah.
And he somehow burns out of the mirrors, even though he said he couldn't do that earlier.
He basically made himself hotter than he was originally, and he just melted it.
Why didn't he do that in the first place? Who knows?
God, who knows, man.
But anyway, they come back, and Johnny just captures them really easily, and the police arrest them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not the worst. I gave it 2 stars. I have a soft spot for Paste Pot Pete.
Do you really? Why?
I love Paste Pot Pete because he's so dumb, and I think he's hilarious.
He literally did nothing in this.
That's true, but I have a soft spot for him. I gave it 2 stars.
I gave it 2 stars. I wrote in my notes that it could be a 1, but I gave it 2 stars.
Yeah. I don't know. I almost did give it a 1 just for the fact that it's the same thing as the last couple Wizard appearances.
It's literally if Paste Pot Pete wasn't Paste Pot Pete was useless in this, except for the fact
it might as well have been a reprint
that he broke the Wizard out of prison.
Right.
That's the only thing he did in this entire thing. That's it.
All right. Well, moving right along.
Yeah.
Strange Tales 110C.
C story.
Doctor Strange, Master of Black Magic.
First
the real Doctor Strange.
Of the real Doctor Strange. Yes, the real Doctor Strange.
So,
sticker arts and stuff.
we start with this guy.
Yes.
He's having some nightmares. So he's like, I've heard of this Doctor Strange fellow. Let me call him up for help.
Yeah. So he calls Doctor Strange. Well, he doesn't. He goes to where Doctor Strange is.
Right.
Meets with them and stuff. Tells him he's having these nightmares and of this brooding figure with chains. Doctor Strange is like, all right, I'll meet you back at your place when you go to sleep. We'll figure this whole thing out, basically. So Strange then goes back to his own room, lights his incense, and what is the word
He sends astral form
out
to go to the Ancient One.
Ancient One. He's on the side of this cliff in Asia.
Yeah. The Ancient One here, Strange is there asking for advice.
Yeah.
The Ancient One is just like, you must do what you feel is best. Someday I won't be around and you will have to be the master of the mystic arts.
And he's basically like, just rely on your amulet, it'll do it for you.
Right. Strange is like,
That's
okay,
it. Alright, I got it then. So he goes back to the dude's house. And he's like, go to sleep, I'm going to be right here to help you. So the dude goes to sleep. Doctor Strange goes into his astral form and he enters the dude's dreams. And he talks to the figure covered in change, which is it's his guilt or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically, it's just this guy who's kind of he figures out that he's someone who's been wronged by the Dreamer.
Yeah.
And then Nightmare shows up.
Yes.
Nightmare is probably my favorite Doctor Strange villain. He's sick. I really hope he's the villain in Doctor Strange 2.
Multiverse of Madness, though?
Could
I don't
be.
know. It could be. He enters dream states.
It's supposed to be a part horror movie, though, and that would definitely
Nightmare
work for
would work for it, yes, but we'll see. We'll have to see.
So anyway, the Dreamer wakes up, and he's like, Strange knows everything, I'm going to shoot him. And since Strange's consciousness is still in the dream world...
He can't really do anything.
Right.
So what he does is he asks the Ancient One for help again, doesn't he?
Right.
And the Ancient One activates Strange's amulet,
which houses the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, it hypnotizes the dude that's about to shoot him.
Right.
Strange flies past Nightmare, goes back into his body, and
it's really weird, the visual, because it's just like a dream bubble, and he just flies out of it.
He just flies out of it. And then he goes back into his body, tells him, tells the dude that's about to shoot him, tell me the entire truth this time. And that's really it.
Yeah, the guy's like, I robbed some businessmen, and that's who the guy was in my dream. Listen, this is pretty good, and Doctor Strange, his first appearance, for me, merits 5 stars.
I gave it 4 stars for the sole fact that there wasn't a lot of magic. I thought it was going to be
okay, yeah.
They said literally the title is Master of Black Magic. Yeah. There was no magic.
Yeah, that's fair.
He just went in and out of his astral form. That was really it. That's why I gave it 4 stars. It was a good comic.
Yeah.
So, as a whole, it's just, for me, there wasn't enough magic in it. That's it.
Alright. Yeah, Doctor Strange is pretty consistently one of the best comics for a while. I still look forward to it whenever he shows up, because it leads to some really trippy stuff and weird stuff, and I love that shit.
Yeah.
So, next up, Journey into Mystery 94. Thor and Loki attack the human race. I'm just going to say right here, I'm sick of Loki.
Yo, seriously.
He's showing up way too much.
Man.
So, we start out, and Thor gets called in to stop this runaway atomic missile.
Yeah.
Which it is revealed was tampered with by Loki.
Which this is the exact same thing with Loki.
He's chained to a rock.
He's chained to a rock by Uber Metal. They think that that's enough to stop him, but no, he can do mind powers and stuff. It's like he can still do everything he can do while still chained to a freaking wall. And it's like, learn your lessons already, God. It's like, you're God, but whatever.
Yeah. So, Thor deals with the missile, but then Loki just makes an illusion of a dragon. So, Thor focuses on the dragon and tries to neutralize it, but because he threw his hammer at the missile, the hammer returns to him and it just hits him in the head, right to the exact spot that somehow changes his personality to the point that he makes Thor evil, but also Thor is still worthy when he's evil because he can still pick up the hammer. What's going on there? What? There is no... I don't...
Oh, man. Yeah, just not a very good...
How is there a part of the brain that turns you evil if it gets hit?
It deals with it deals with personality, and it changed his personality, I guess. to be evil.
That makes no sense, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Loki communicates with Thor, tells him to break him out. Thor does this.
Since he's evil now.
They have a little debacle with Odin, and Loki's like, even you won't tackle with Odin because he's stronger than you. I'm like, is he though? Is Thor stronger than Odin? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, right, yeah. And so they're like, yeah, so we're holding Earth hostage until you give us control of Asgard.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Do the gods really care about Earth, though?
Yeah, Loki's like, Odin, you love Earth. And I'm like, does he
No, he
really,
doesn't.
though?
He doesn't care. There's later parts where he's like, Thor, I'm going to destroy Earth because of Jane Foster. You want to fucking... Because you want to tell her you're Thor, so I'm going to just kill everybody.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, they go to Earth, and they start causing chaos. They make thunderstorms. They do lightning that destroys monuments.
Yeah,
they make earthquakes. They make a tornado.
Levitating the Taj Mahal.
Destroying the Eiffel Tower, and the Pyramids of Giza, and the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Panama Canal, and the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I know it's Pisa. I just wanted to say pizza.
Okay.
And then Loki uses illusions to make a sea serpent and the Sphinx to life. Bring the Sphinx to life.
Animates the Empire State Building.
That was fucking weird. It just like walks away from.
And then he makes a dinosaur statue in a museum come to life. Yeah.
So anyway, Earth is like, please stop. We surrender. Go to the UN. And then the people in the UN try to appeal to Odin to save them.
Yeah.
And then so Thor goes to the UN and destroys the signal of the UN building. This is where it gets weird, though, because these people are not part of the UN who are appealing to Odin. They're just like random Norse people. It was
the gods themselves.
Well, right, but we didn't know that yet.
No, we didn't.
And they're still not qualified UN members, so how the fuck did they just walk into the United Nations building?
Who knows?
So yeah, it does turn out that those Norse people are actually Odin and the gods, and they somehow make the hammer hit Thor again in the exact same spot.
Yep.
It appears to hit Loki in the same spot as well, but that doesn't do anything to him.
That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, hey, Loki's going to turn good now. Nope. Loki's the same him.
Yeah.
Which didn't make sense because it literally did the exact same thing to Thor, but whatever.
Maybe because Loki's a frost giant, it works differently.
I don't think that's how that works.
And I don't even know if he is a frost giant in the comics. That might just be in the movies. Anyway, Thor captures Loki, and the gods repair all the damage that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know, this one wasn't that bad. I'm sick of Loki, but it wasn't that bad of a story. I gave it 3.
I gave it 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see Loki again for a while. He shows up too much.
Yeah, way too much, honestly.
Yeah, it's no good. So next up,
yeah,
Tales to Astonish, number 45. This is Ant-Man
and the Wasp.
The Terrible Traps of Egghead. Egghead is back.
Egghead is
the most famous Ant-Man villain. This one is a mess.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
we start off, Egghead is insane, as he was in the last time we saw him. And so he teams up with some crooks that he sees in the hopes of getting revenge on Ant-Man through the Wasp. Egghead disguises himself as a professor and somehow builds up enough cred that he's able to lecture at a zoo, and he also is able to build a wasp exhibit in the reptile room.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that would take... Why would they let him do that?
Yeah, he literally just did it. Like, he just introduced himself, started talking at one thing, and then all of a sudden he could do it at a zoo.
Yeah.
And it made perfect sense.
It would take years to even be able to get asked to lecture at a zoo, probably, as a professor.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not going to let you build a whole new exhibit in the reptile room.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, Egghead and his crew then pull off a robbery of a necklace. I think it might be the same necklace that they tried to rob in the last Egghead story. And then
I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah,
it was just...
It doesn't matter, but...
No, it doesn't, but...
Anyway, Egghead scrambles these signals of the ants, and Hank notices this. He's like, the ants are trying to tell me something, but I can't pick it up because the signal is scrambled. So, the signal does eventually clear.
Yeah.
And Hank and Jan suit up, and they go over there. But it's too late. The necklace is already gone.
Yeah.
So Egghead, the next day, puts the necklace in the Wasp exhibit to provide bait for Janet. Because he's like, Janet will come here because it's a Wasp exhibit, and she obviously will come here because she's the Wasp.
Yeah.
And then she'll see the necklace, and she'll know that I stole it. And then she'll try to get involved and come back at the exact time that I need her to and get trapped in the Wasp exhibit. that's a convoluted plan that probably wouldn't work. But then, Jan goes, she takes it, this is an exact quote. She sees the necklace, she's like, should I notify the police? No. I'll tell Henry and well, no, I don't want to do that either. He treats me like a scatterbrained little girl, and I want him to think of me as a full-fledged woman. A woman in love. Sorry.
He literally knows she's in love with him because she's literally told him in the
Flat out in the first issue.
First issue she was there.
I'm in love with you, Henry.
I'm in love with you. He says, no, you're too much of a child for me.
Right. This is so
dumb.
He
knows that she's in love. It's not a surprise.
Yeah, and if you think you need help, call for help. Like, your reputation,
I think, is a little bit more...
is worth less than your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that Jan is not capable, but she's not this early, because she doesn't have enough experience right now. So she flies into the Wasp Hive, but it's just a maze.
It's a maze thing, and then they close it, and I guess she's trapped in there, I guess?
Yeah, but we'll get to that later, actually. So then she calls Hank for help.
Yeah.
And Hank goes to the rescue, but he somehow gets trapped in like a display case and has to fight a giant iguana.
Yes, he has to joust the iguana.
This scene is hilarious. I love this scene. This is the best scene.
What was the thing he used to joust?
I don't know.
It looked like one of those like golf tees.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was hilarious though.
Yeah, he basically was on an ant and he jousted the iguana. One stab to like the nose or something, and the iguana was out. And
I think he just punches through the case and he's able to get out. This calls into question again. I know we had a very long discussion about this in a previous episode where I was like, he has the strength of a human, why doesn't he just bust out of this glass case? And you were like, maybe the glass he would break his hand or something. He does it very easily here, so there's no excuses.
He does it here, yeah. Easily.
So anyway, but Wasp somehow escapes this unescapable trap
by seeing the hole where Hank came through.
Is that what it said?
It was like she said something about seeing the same hole.
It's all sealed off though, so where the fuck would the hole be?
I don't really know. It was like the same hole where Hank was, and she escaped through there. I don't know. It was a little confusing, but anyway, they proceed to fight the ape and the Twister, which were the two other people that were helping Egghead.
Not to mention an anteater.
Oh, and the ant... I forgot about the anteater.
The anteater comes and Hank uses his magic unbreakable cord to just whip it around and he like bolts
Is that what it was?
Criminals.
I thought he just straight up grabbed his snout.
No, he had his cord, his nylon cord.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how he defeats the other ape and whatever his name is, by throwing it into them.
Yeah.
So then Egghead is about to fire this gas gun, but Wasp finds this pin and she's like, I
think it's the same pin they used to defeat the iguana.
It might have been.
It looked like the exact same one.
And she's like, I got my wasp sting now! And then she starts just poking everybody in the hands, and they're like, ah! Yeah. My hands!
Yeah.
And they all drop the guns. And
Egghead escapes again.
This is terrible. I give it 1 star.
Yeah, bad.
I loved the lizard joust.
It was funny, but bad.
Yeah. So you have it at 1 as well?
Yeah, I had 1.
Right.
Bad.
Tales of Suspense, number 43.
Iron Man versus Kala, Queen of the Netherworld?
Queen of the Netherworld, yep. So we start out, one of Tony's wind machines goes crazy, and Iron Man comes in to stop it by becoming a human fan, which somehow just makes the entire thing explode.
Let me tell you, this was... I could not stop laughing when I saw this. Basically what he did, he climbed into the fan and then propelled himself towards the fan whilst spinning like it was the funniest art I have seen. You just see him starfish and yellow streaks going in circles. It was hilarious.
But somehow that makes the entire thing blow up, which that doesn't make any sense either.
Basically what he did, he just threw himself into the fan. That's all he did.
Yeah, I don't know. That was
a
bizarre way to start.
It was very weird.
So Tony goes in to make an appearance, so he's like, because he wants to avoid suspicion, and he doesn't bring a suit. He's like, well, the crisis just ended, so there probably won't be another crisis. But then all the guards just start vanishing. Yeah, and then he gets trapped in like this crystallized... It's like a glass cage thing, yeah. And he starts sinking into the ground. Yeah, to the center of the earth. Yes. This is like the third underground civilization, I believe. I think so, yeah. So he meets Kala and the other guards who are there. Yes. And Kala tells him that their race are relatives to Atlantis. No, they are Atlantis. Right. Yeah. Right.
They are Atlantis. She explained the whole story of how Atlantis went underwater because of a giant tidal wave, because of like earthquakes and sea quakes happening. They built this indestructible glass dome so they wouldn't get destroyed.
Right.
But
Atlantis sank to the center of the earth.
It kept on sinking until eventually it sank to the center of the earth.
This means though that it's not the same Atlantis as the Namor.
That's what I was thinking.
Atlantis.
Like, if this is
are there two Atlantises?
If this is connected with Fantastic Four, which I'm pretty sure it is, then Namor is not going to find his civilization.
But here's the thing, though. This is not the real Atlantis. This is completely different Atlantis.
It's got to be.
Because this isn't under the sea. It's under rock now, and it's in a glass dome. They're not like fish people.
They're not fish people, exactly.
So,
which was what I was thinking. I was like, it can't be, but at the same time, what if it is? I don't know.
Anyway, Kala is like, yeah, we're gonna invade Earth. Because why not?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we need you, Tony Stark, to help build some machines to get us to the surface.
Which
they have incredibly advanced weapons. They have things that can phase people through the Earth, and they can't get to the surface.
These underground civilizations that are always advanced.
Except for one very specific category.
Yeah, it's like, why is it always this one specific thing where they need actual good scientists?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a good question. I guess they're all stupid.
Yeah.
So...
It's like the one... I forgot which comic it was, but the one thing...
Strange Tales. Was it Strange Tales? Maybe not.
It was the one thing where they didn't have weapons, but the dude built a time machine back in time to get the one weapon and then took it back to his future.
Yeah, Cobalt Man. That was in Thor, yeah. Or not Tomorrow Man, sorry. Cobalt Man is different.
It was like, if you're that smart, just build a weapon yourself.
Right.
It can't be that hard.
Yeah. So anyway, she's like, yeah, you're gonna help us or we're gonna kill these guards. And you.
Yeah.
But then Kala also apparently has a weapon which can just reverse the rotation of Earth, which will just kill everybody.
Yeah.
So why not just do that and then use your phaser things to go up to the surface and then you just rule the surface world. There's nobody there.
It's simple maths.
Yeah, this makes no sense. But Tony agrees, and he requests this lab where he learns that Baksu, one of the Netherworld guards, is a sexist. So he's like, I can't work for this woman. I cannot let myself work under a woman.
It's not. I don't think it's the fact that he's a sexist. I just don't think she's a good ruler.
That is part of it. I think he also was like, I can't take orders from a woman.
I think it was part sexist and part of the fact that she wasn't a good ruler in general.
Yeah.
I think it was a mix of both, honestly.
So anyway, Tony makes a duplicate Iron Man suit in his lab.
Yeah.
And he busts out and he fights Baksu, but then he's like, yo, just take the throne for yourself, my dude. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. So then Iron Man easily disables all of their weapons and snatches Kala using mirrors to make duplicates of himself. Where did he set up the mirrors?
They were like mini mirrors. They weren't even like big.
Yeah.
They were like,
where did he set those up? When did he have the time to set those up?
I don't know how it worked.
Anyway.
He basically took Kala up to the surface and showed her what would happen if they all came up to the surface.
Upstairs.
Yeah, they came upstairs, guys. It basically turned them all really old. It turned them really old for some reason.
And they said because of the atmospheric pressure or something. Yeah. And she's like, no, I want to be beautiful again. Take me back.
Wouldn't the atmospheric pressure be more intense the closer you got?
Yeah, it would.
To the core of the Earth?
Yeah. And would it make sense for less pressure to make you shrivel up more? I don't think it would.
No, I think more pressure shrivels up. Less pressure... Well, I guess then that would make sense, actually, a little bit. Less pressure would loosen up.
And if you're in space, you're going to just, floop into bones. There's no atmospheric pressure
no atmospheric at all. So less atmospheric pressure would make her skin looser, I guess?
I still don't think it's enough
I don't know.
Unless, there's something to do with gravity, because they're so close to the Earth's core or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, Iron Man returns Kala to the Netherworld, and then she somehow just reverts back to normal, which doesn't make sense to me either. Yeah. And then everybody's suddenly like, Iron Man is the best, and Kala's like, marry me, Iron Man! What the fuck?
He's like, no, marry Baksu.
Right.
But Baksu hated Kala. He won't do that.
Well, he's like, I don't know if I can take orders from her, but she's hot.
Oh, yeah, he did say that to me. And
then Iron Man takes the scientist back up to the surface. This is a mess. The ending was nonsensical, but all of this it's 1 star for me.
1 star. I gave it 1 star too.
Yeah.
Woo!
We're halfway through! I remembered for the 2nd week in a row. Look at that.
Well, this first week you put a giant
Yeah.
banner that you literally almost skipped over.
Yeah. So if you want to listen to the rest of this, tune in on Sunday this week that's later in the week. I can't give you an exact release date because I'm a little bit behind on uploading. We're recording this before part 2 of episode 7 came out, so this may not come out quite on time. But if this is up, and you're listening to it, that means we have a ranking of all 23 of the MCU movies. It's pretty long, actually. Longer than some of our actual comic episodes have been, so you can go check that out if you want to. And yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.